could never know. Above all, it was a life shared with those most precious to him. Today, our prayers are for Marian and Ian and for those most close to them, and for all, for whom the pain is more than they can bear. Sustain them in years to come with treasured memories of the past and radiant hopes for the future, and bring us all at the last to fullness of life, the fullness of eternity itself. So, in thankfulness for this good, useful, cheerful, and truly human life, let Glasgow flourish. Let Scotland stand firm. And let the morning stars sing together for joy. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
After the final hymn, the benediction will be pronounced by the minister of the cathedral. Will you all please then remain standing? And as Donald is carried from this place to be laid down in peace, let us also go from this place in peace, with courage, cheerfulness, and compassion towards all. Now, to the tune Glasgow, the hymn, Behold the Mountain of the Lord.
God grant to the living grace, to the departed rest, to the Church, the Queen, the Commonwealth, and all mankind, peace and concord, and to us and all his servants, life everlasting. The grace of the Lord Jesus Christ be with you all. Amen.
And so Donald Dewar's coffin begins the slow journey through Glasgow Cathedral. The pallbearers are all members of the emergency services, police, fire and ambulance. This to underline the fact that Donald Dewar considered himself, as we've just heard attested, as just another public servant. The pallbearers are led by Inspector Richard Hughes. Following there with the family wreaths, Miss Sam Harrison of the ambulance service and Constable Graham Ledbetter there. The music's from the Scottish folk musicians Ali Bain and Phil Cunningham. It's a specially arranged medley including A Man's a Man, the Burns song there, which was memorably sung at the opening of the Parliament last year. Now Prince Charles is at the door of the cathedral, talking to Donald Dewar's son Ian and his daughter Marion. Talking perhaps about the service we've just heard. A service in which, as always with memories of Donald Dewar, there was laughter as well as tears. Ruth Wishart had them all smiling with great affection at anecdotes about his wit, his erudition, his love of football and weariness of travel. A service in which the lovely voice of the MSP, Cathy Peaty, soared to the rafters with a simple love ballad by Robert Burns. A service in which the honesty, the decency, the compassion of Donald Dewar was celebrated. And the fact, as the Chancellor said, that he wasn't only decent, but pursued the logic of his decency in politics. A great man, said Gordon Brown, and a good man. The family now moving towards the car in which they'll follow the hearse. So the funeral of Donald Dewar is over. Now, as Scotland comes to terms with its loss, the country moves on to consider how to fill the void he's left behind. As his memory fades, his legend may grow. For now, many Scots are left with memories. Memories of the man who can truly be said to have been the father of the Scottish Parliament.
I first met Johnny Scott
at a children's party.
He was an incredibly scruffy little boy.
And a strange girl from London.
Always with his ferret. Has he changed?
I'm a hill farmer.
I'm a townie.
This divide has grown up between the town and the country.
Nobody's really shown the other side.
The traditional rural way of life.
I said, we could do it. We're a perfect example that town and country can coexist.
Absolutely.
Clarissa and the Countryman starts Friday at 8 on BBC Two.
Wednesday afternoon on BBC One, time for CBBC with Angelica and Emlyn the Gremlin.